Chapter 64. The chairman and Rielle came face to face again. After the doctors have completed their assessment with Rielle, her family and friends were welcome to see her. Akio felt apprehensive, embarrassed that Rielle could have heard his confession about his feeling for her. He felt like keeping his distance from her but couldn't. He thought that this was when Rielle needed a friend who would sympathize with her, to ease her pain from the suffering that she had gone through from those robbers. When Rielle saw her mom, she wept and sobbed, because she again recalled the suffering she had gone through with the robbers. She looked up from her bed, and when she saw Akio standing by, she raised her arm wanting his embrace, and Akio came close and comforted her, and Rielle came crying profusely, feeling the warmth of Akio's protective embrace, and telling how she felt during that harrowing experience with the robbers. I already accepted my fate at that moment, feeling I would die in that cruel man's hands. And all I asked from above was to save your life, because you were fighting for me and never thought of yourself. You even offered those criminals money to save me, but they still have the thought of killing us both. After Rielle's painful and agonizing recount of her encounter, feeling weak, she fell asleep again. Akio looked at Mrs. Kalma and felt her much-needed rest, because she had not slept well during Rielle's unconscious state. Akio requested Mrs. Kalma to rest. I'll always be here every night and day, so feel assured of Rielle's safety, Akio assured Mrs. Kalma. Thank you very much, Akio, for being a good friend of my daughter. I am confident that she's in good hands. I'll take a rest now, and Mrs. Kalma went to the other room of the suite to sleep. Meanwhile, at the Han residence the following day, the household in the Han mansion was panicky when they saw the chairman, Mr. Myong Han, and his wife, alighting from their car. The security guard, together with their entourage, carried their luggages to the house. The housemaids and their lady butler, Rosita, went to meet, bowing to them. They were nervous because they knew they would be asking about their sons, Hyun-ki and Hwan-chul. Neither their daughter, Sumi, nor one of their sons was present at home. I am well aware, they were not here because they were in the hospital, because of that uncanny encounter Hyun-ki had with the criminals. Any news from them? Rosita asked the chairman. The chairman was in his mid-70s. His great hair proved a remarkable experience, possessing superior merit in his business, and his well-being showed fitness and wholeness. He had qualified mental health, a high life satisfaction with a sense of purpose. But the chairman was also authoritative, manipulative, forceful, and a narcissist, so he doesn't meet eye to eye with his sons, especially Hyun-ki. I'm sorry, sir, but no one has come home since that incident, Rosita apologetically replied. Not even Hwan-chul or Sumi. The chairman is already ferocious. Where was Hyun-ki at this hour? Again asked the chairman, now irritated. Sir, we do not know because no one has gone home yet, Rosita nervously replied. Get out of my sight, useless imbeciles, the chairman yelled. You don't have to yell like that, Myong. How would they know? Soothed Mrs. Han. Come, let us rest first. Aren't you tired from our flight? Maybe one of them will come home before we know it. And please, Myong, watch your temper, or your blood pressure will shoot up again, Mrs. Han worriedly reminded the chairman. A few hours later in the afternoon, while the chairman and Mrs. Han were watching Netflix at the den, Hwan-chul arrived. He was never surprised because Rosita warned him during their parents' arrival. Rosita greeted him from the living room and informed him that his parents were at the den. He went straight to the den. Hwan gave a warm hug to his mom, and a light tap on his father's back. What was this incident involving your brother and a lady taken hostage? Hwan, the chairman asked. Hwan-chul narrated the incident. It was an inevitable circumstance in a bank, where some vicious robbers surreptitiously entered and declared bank robbery. It so happened that Hyun-ki was there. He fought the robbers but was knocked down, so Hyung decided to trail the robbers with Juni, and fought and subdued those robbers. But everything was already resolved, the robbers were already in prison. Hyun was in his office, but will soon return to the hospital, so no worries, Dad, explained Hwan-chul. I would like to meet this lady personally in the hospital. Hwan, the chairman, was insistent. Dad, how about tonight? Replied Hwan-chul. Well, okay. Tonight. Prepare the chopper then, said the chairman calmly. Later that evening, the chairman arrived, was curious and wanted to meet the lady who saved his son from getting shot. Who was this lady taken hostage, and why did she shield herself to cover you? Implored the chairman. That question cornered Hyun-ki. He could no longer conceal his relationship with Rielle. All right, Dad. Since your curiosity could not stop you, I'll tell you everything. My fiancé worked as a bank teller. She was taken hostage apart from Mr. Akio Hinode, and I couldn't help myself doing nothing, so I trailed them from behind. I was able to finish them, but when the gang leader aimed his gun to shoot me, Rielle suddenly closed in on me and shielded me with her body. She was shot, and her blood spewed all over me, leaving her lifeless body to fall on me. Thank God, the bullet did not penetrate her heart. All right then. I'll visit your fiancée to meet her, Hyun said the chairman. You could be kidding me, Dad? You wanted to meet her? Hyun-ki asked nervously. Yes, what's wrong with meeting her? I want to thank your fiancée for giving up her life for you, and I should show my gratitude, Mr. Han Myong said kindly. The chairman walked to the door, while the two brothers looked at each other about their dad's questionable motive. Well, are you not coming with me? Asked the chairman, turning to Hyun-ki. The chairman, Mrs. Han, and Hwan-chul followed suit as Hyun-ki led them to Rielle's suite. And as they entered the suite, Rielle cringed nervously. Likewise, Dr. Kalma was startled when they recognized Mr. and Mrs. Han Myong. Hyun-ki came to Rielle's side and held her hand to make her feel he would protect her. Mrs. Han was shocked simultaneously with the chairman's surprised look upon recognizing Rielle. Weren't you Hwan-chul's girlfriend? Asked the chairman. Yes, you were the girl with Hwan-chul during the accident 3 years ago, Mrs. Han positively claimed. Hwan-chul spoke. Yes, Yama, Appa, she was Mari, my former girlfriend whom Dad had insulted, and you, Mom, left her in her near-death condition in the hospital to save me. She had been living with selective amnesia for 3 years, and during those times, Mari, now known as Rielle, became Hyung's girlfriend. It was too late to get her back as my girlfriend, because Hyung and Rielle were so much in love, and they were to marry soon. Mrs. Han was surprised. Mrs. Han held Rielle's hands and asked for her forgiveness. I'm so sorry. I was afraid for Hwan-chul's life at that time, that I never considered the recklessness my son brought to you, my dear. Please forgive me. Mr. Han couldn't look straight at Rielle for the shame he made to her, and spoke humbly. I am sorry for shaming and insulting you. Despite how we treated you, you never considered avenging us, and even giving your life to our son to save him. Thank you, Rielle, and I am truly sorry. I would be happy to have you as part of my family. Hyun-ki, unbelieving of what he heard, still was overjoyed upon hearing his dad's statement, simultaneously with Hwan-chul, who gave a muffled chuckle. Mr. Han Myong said, as soon as Rielle gets well, we must arrange your wedding. Your mom and I will sit with Rielle's mother to make this wedding beautiful and grand. Rielle was upset and felt uncomfortable with this news. She requested a private talk with Hyun-ki first. This wedding could not happen this fast. Hyun, you and I knew the situation, so you better talk to your parents and tell them the truth about us. I don't want to, Rielle, because I wanted us to get back together. I still love you, and I would not give you up. Please, come back to me. Rielle, she felt more troubled, and Rielle was not ready for Hyun-ki. You now have a girlfriend, Hyun, and I don't want to be in the middle. I don't want to cause any trouble between Sarah and you, but it was you all along, Rielle. I was unhappy seeing you with another man, because I still care for you, and I love you. Please give me a chance to love you again. Rielle could not deny her true feelings for Hyun-ki. She is still in love with him, but there's a hindrance, so she wants to stay away from Hyun-ki. It was because of Sarah. Rielle could not bear to have someone shed a tear, because Hyun-ki wanted her back. I am sorry, Hyun-ki. I still love you, that's the truth, but how about Sarah? Had you not thought how she would feel about all this? You already moved on with Sarah. While I am still halfway to moving on, but I could make it happen. I could give you up, because you have already started a new beginning with your present girlfriend. Focus on her, Hyun. Give her the love she is yearning for from you. Hyun-ki became furious when Rielle rejected him. I will not give you up that easy, Rielle. About Sarah, I could resolve that, but give you up? No, that is a different matter I am unwilling to do. I will have you back, Rielle. Cast it on a rock. Rielle felt perplexed about Hyun-ki's feelings for Sarah and her. She stared at Hyun-ki for so long, until their eyes met. She couldn't bear losing him again. Now that he confessed how much he still loved and yearned for her, how she missed him so much, and would like to put him around her arms until she felt conscious with their eyes locked together, she looked down. Still, Hyun-ki quickly lifted her chin toward his face. Their noses touched. Slowly, Hyun-ki pressed his lips to her lips, and as if time was playing with them, seconds turned to minutes, held them together with kisses, and Rielle lost herself to Hyunki.